Hi ladies and gentlemen, today we are going to talk about the Ziigaat Arete and of course, compare them with some of its peers. It's like comparing this chair that I'm sitting on to a BDSM sex swing. Both are furnitures but vastly different users. It is pretty important not to buy a BDSM furniture for a living room sofa. Also, just one more thing, if this video gets 1,000 likes in 2 weeks, I will ask a pretty lady to be on the show the next time round, so hopefully we can get that done. You guys want to see somebody else other than me, right? But if you say you just want to see me, thank you guys so much. Kicking things off, packaging on the Arete is pretty basic. You get a sleeve with the image of the IEMs themselves in the center. This earphone was done in conjunction with fresh reviews. Nothing really remarkable on the sleeves. Inside the box you get to see some of those pretty shells in foam and another box that houses the carrying case. You get a set of silicone ear tips on these that are okay, as well as a pair of foams. Lastly, the cable is located in there itself. This is honestly a box standard experience. Build quality, I think when future generations eventually find my stash of IEMs and see the Arete, they will wonder if the faceplate is made from some sort of alien material. No guys, it's just resin. Just really pretty resin. Yes, the resin on the Arete is the showstopper with flashes of pink on a smoky grey background. The faceplate alone would convince me that this is a blind buy for sure. Just joking, I mean, it is really pretty and very easy on the eyes. The chassis on the Arete is yet another custom universal shape IEM which by today's day and age we are already very well acquainted with. These fit very well in my ears and are pretty comfortable. The resin here is finished in a glossy black. Powering the Arete are one biocellulose dynamic driver and 4 Knowles balance armatures. The Arete is a traditional hybrid design where bass is handled by the dynamic driver and with everything else rendered by the balance armatures. The Arete supports a 2-pin termination, which is great for those of you who like to cable roll. Ziigaat did not mention what material the cable is made from. It is a rather basic braided cable with decent ergonomics. It is serviceable though, but I won't say that it feels premium. It is terminated with a 3.5mm jack. For those of you with fancy dongles out there with a 4.4mm output, you might want to switch to another cable with a 4.4mm termination to make use of the additional power from your dongle. Inside the box you have a set of ear tips which I'm very happy to say are not e-waste. It's pretty nice. These days you cannot really take the quality of ear tips for granted because I mean if you watch my review of the Sennheiser IE series of IEMs, you will know that even a famed brand like Sennheiser provides really subpar ear tips. Next up, let's talk about sound. Sonics on the Arete are fun. It does everything well enough but has an easy to like character and will be forgiving to poorly recorded tracks. What is impressive is the resonant sub-bass which is handled quite masterfully by the single dynamic driver. The Arete leans slightly warm in its natural warm classification. I also found it to be pretty dynamic sounding, which is quite the trend in 2024. More manufacturers are ensuring satisfying dynamics, which is actually pretty great. Upper mids on the Arete are slightly elevated, nowhere to the likes of the SimGod EA500 of 2023. This is great as it is more relaxed sounding but still has enough bite to keep things interesting. Technicalities on the Arete are pretty adequate and for a rather fun sounding IEM, it does a great job. Bass. Bass on the Arete is rendered by the dynamic driver. What I can say about the bass on the Arete is that it is very resonant and punchy. It is seriously addictive. This is still a sub-bass dominant earphone that has pretty decent body in the mid-bass. This results in exciting dynamics whenever the mid-bass drops, most evident when the kick drum comes in. Not only that, there is a rather sweet reverberation when that comes in. I won't say that the bass here is the fastest or tightest, but I think for what it is trying to achieve with dynamics, the Arete strikes a fine balance between absolute resolution and fun. Bass guitar here still sounds pretty distinct with excellent tonality. Technicalities on the Arete are pretty competent while retaining an excitable character. The way it renders bass helps the Arete to be very friendly and approachable. Mid-range, everything else on the Arete is done by the Knowles Balance armatures. What I like about how it renders mid-range is that it sounds very clean and distinct despite the more excitable bass. There is no bass bleed, and that is a big plus for the mid-range as it maintains a pristine character. When it comes to note weight, the Arete sits right smack in the center between natural and warm. I found this is largely pleasing for vocals. Vocals on the Arete have this nimble character to them that really adds life to vocal rendering. Female vocals stand out in particular. This character really accentuates them. As mentioned, upper mids are distinct enough but not exaggerated, which is much welcome. Instruments are pretty clear sounding too. Again, I found Arete's character to be largely fun but still technically capable. Treble extension here is beyond acceptable as it does so in a very easygoing manner and synergizes with mid-range beautifully. It manages to add a pretty good air surrounding the mid-range, and this adds character to the overall tone. I found them to be energetic enough and not overly so. For me, I don't really notice any sibilance, and these are really largely just pleasing. Soundstage, when it comes to width and height, it's both above average on the Arete. I can't say that they are the biggest I have heard, but they are certainly more than acceptable. Depth is great on the Arete, aided by good levels of dynamics. Positioning is also pretty good, perhaps not bitingly pinpoint, as those usually apply to more treble prominent earphones. Next up, let's talk about some comparison. Firstly, versus the Tanchjim Origin. Now, the Tanchjim Origin is another IM that is priced rather similarly to the Arete but features very different technology. Inside it is one dynamic driver which offers quite a different sort of tone. The Origin has more of an upper mids emphasis and sounds more forward compared to the Arete. The Origin can be a little bright for some folks. For me, I prefer the more balanced approach of the Arete. It does sound more fun compared to the Origin. In terms of tone, the Aretes are also pretty much smoother by comparison as well. Next up, when it comes to technicalities, I found the Aretes to be a bit more resolving as well. The next IM that I'll compare it to would be the Kiwiears Quintet. Now, the Quintet is a quad bridge IM that introduces a lot of driver types into an IM and creates quite an interesting type of sound. Compared to the Arete, the Quintet is certainly leaner sounding and a bit more technical. For me, I found the Arete to be a better all-rounder as it isn't as bright but brings a lot of joy when listening to them. Sometimes being bitingly technical isn't all that matters, and the Arete is an IM that proves just that. For me, the Arete is simply more enjoyable to listen to, but if you're looking for fidelity, then go with the Quintet. Likes and dislikes. The faceplate on the Arete is a big like in my books as it is just simply stunning. In the realm of similar looking custom universal earphones, I will remember the Arete, which actually says a lot. I also really enjoy the fun nature of the Arete as it is an IM that I would find myself picking up because they are just pretty enjoyable to listen to. Next up, some dislikes. Well, I think the low point on the Aretes is that the packaging is really quite a bore. There's really nothing going for it. It's just pretty standard stuff. I wish for the experience to be just a bit better. And of course, my ratings. Is this a blind buy, one to strongly consider buying, one to test them out first, or one that you can just give to your enemies? So what do I think about the Arete? For me, the sonics are the ultimate selling point of the Arete. They blend dynamics and fun really well together and is a rather engaging listen. I think you can strongly consider buying them if you're in the market for a new pair of earphones. This is my favorite from Ziigaat and I think they are pretty solid. And finally, in conclusion, Ziigaat has been putting out quite a bit of new stuff lately, and it's nice to see them reach a higher level with the Arete. The warmer and more fun tuning is one to be experienced, and I'm expecting more great stuff from them soon. With that said, thank you so much for watching a Super Strong Super Audio Show. If you like this week's content, please kindly press the like and subscribe button right here down below. It will help me out immensely. Also, by the time you're seeing this, I am in India, Delhi, doing the Headphone Connect show. If you're there, do drop by to say hi, but by the time you're seeing this, the event's probably already over. Anyways, it was nice meeting you guys if you did see me. Yeah, with that said, I hope to see you guys soon.